Elijah, a tired but proud worker, fights for his dignity against a boss who does nothing but humiliate and exploit him. But how will their relationship change when the hidden truths finally come to light? Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss our next impactful stories. In a small room suffocated by clutter, Elia, a middle-aged man with a tired look and a face marked by hard work, moves boxes and furniture under the impatient supervision of Mr. Lorenzo. "You have to hurry, Elijah. There's no time to waste," Lorenzo insists. Checking his watch and with a stern and uncompromising tone, deliberately ignoring the late hour and the evident tiredness in Elijah's step. Elia, feeling oppressed by that chaos and by Lorenzo's pressure, replies with a voice full of frustration. "Mr. Lorenzo, I started at 7:30 without a break. I haven't even eaten. These times are impossible to respect. We can't continue like this." Lorenzo, with a sneer of displeasure, rejects every objection, his words sharp as a knife's blade. "Work is not a favor, Elia. It's a duty. You don't leave until you've finished everything, and I don't want to hear any more complaints about lunch breaks or work hours," Lorenzo says briskly. The tension between the two men is palpable. Elijah feels the weight of every word like a boulder. He knows that every extra minute means less time with his family, less rest, less life outside those four walls. The next day, while the sky is still dark blue, a sign of a newborn dawn, Elijah is already at work. His movements are automatic, but each gesture is a reminder of the long day ahead. Despite Elijah's dedication and meticulousness, Lorenzo still hits him like a cold wind, relentlessly criticizing his every gesture. Elijah, his voice broken by fatigue and growing anxiety, tries to explain, to make people understand his difficulties. "When will you pay me, Mr. Lorenzo? I have rent to pay, deadlines to meet. I can't go on like this." Elijah's words are a feeble attempt to defend his dignity as a man and a worker, as he struggles against the despair that threatens to overwhelm him. After belittling his request and criticizing his work again, Lorenzo gives him a check for €800, an inadequate sum to cover the needs of an entire family. In the evening, sitting in the kitchen, Elijah reflects on how to free himself from that work situation that was not only humiliating and destroying him, but which did not even allow him to guarantee a dignified life for his family. When suddenly he is reached by the reassuring voice of his wife Serena. "Honey, INPS has accepted our application for citizens' income." For a moment, the weight of the day seems to lift from Elijah's shoulders. His eyes, usually heavy with tiredness, light up with a spark of relief. "Finally," she whispers, letting the dream of a less oppressed life take shape in her mind. "I could stop being exploited." Serena, sensing the change in her husband's tone, continues with warm and deep encouragement, instilling courage in her words. "Love. This is the time to look forward to something better, a job that truly respects your commitment and your sacrifice." Her words are not just advice, but an emotional embrace, a reminder of the love and support that have never wavered, despite the hardships. "Imagine a life where your work gives you not only a salary, but also dignity," adds Serena, her voice a beacon in the night, guiding Aaliyah toward hope. After learning the news of the citizens' income, Elia finds himself at a crossroads. Continue to put up with the unsustainable conditions of his current job, or risk everything in search of something better? What would you do in his place? Have you ever had to make a similar decision in your life? Is it really fair to endure humiliation and exploitation in a job just because it seems like there are no other options available? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you appreciate this story, leave your like to support us. That conversation between Elijah and Serena not only marks the end of a long and tiring day, but also the beginning of a new trajectory in Elijah's life, a path towards respect and personal fulfillment. So he decides to quit his job. Months after that decisive change in Elijah's life, one autumn morning, fate decides to orchestrate a new meeting. Elijah, now more serene, strolls along the sidewalk, absorbing the tranquility of the moment when a car pulls up next to him. It was Lorenzo who, with a smile that could not hide his desperation, clumsily attempted to reconnect. Trying to mask his anxiety, Lorenzo suggests that Elia return to work for him. However, the conditions offered are even worse than before, a clear attempt at exploitation disguised as opportunity. Elijah, feeling betrayed by that unseemly offer, responds with a firmness that makes the air between them tremble. "Not under these conditions," he says with an intensity in his eyes that makes Lorenzo falter. "Work must be dignified. It must allow you to support a family." Elia's voice rises, vibrant with passion and controlled anger. He reproaches Lorenzo for the past, for the lack of respect and humanity towards his workers. At that moment, under Elia's proud and indomitable gaze, Lorenzo realizes that he has never truly seen the man in front of him. Not just an employee, but a human being, tired but proud, fighting for his dignity. Struck by this revelation, Lorenzo returns home with a heavy heart. In the days that follow, he reflects intensely on Elia's words, on the meaning of respect, and on the true essence of work. He realizes, perhaps for the first time, the importance of treating his employees with fairness and dignity. Moved by this new awareness, Lorenzo decides to make amends. He invites Elia to a meeting to discuss a new contract, a proposal that reflects the changes in his attitude and values. "I want to offer you something that respects your rights and your dignity," says Lorenzo, his tone now genuine and humble, a sign of a radical change in his vision of the world of work. Elijah, though cautious, welcomes the proposal with a mixture of hope and caution. They sit down together, two men transformed by the experience, and they make an agreement that promises not only fair compensation, but also the respect Elijah has always deserved. Elia's story teaches us that dignity and respect in the workplace are not just distant wishes, but fundamental rights worth fighting for. Despite the challenges, Elijah shows us that accepting unfair conditions is not the only option. Sometimes, the courage to say no opens the door to new opportunities that respect our value as individuals. What about you? Would you have made the same decision as Elijah, or would you have chosen a different path? I'll wait for you in the comments.